What's going on, guys? Tyler here at Ports Preps and Projects, and today I'm going to show you guys how I made this nifty little holster for my Leatherman multi-tool. I had a nylon little holster that came with it, or sheath, whatever you want to call it, and it wore out pretty quickly. So, having to improvise as such, and I think you guys might like this because we'll have to improvise when supply chains are messed up, when maybe you just can't go to the store. If you notice it sound like shit, I got that good old Omicron variant. So, getting over this head cold, basically. And decided I was going to go ahead and make a new sheath. When I'm talking about improvising, I have scrap leather, fishing line, braided fishing line, and this snap right here came from good old Menards, and they're made for tarps, but all you need to install them is basically something to poke the hole and a hammer. So I'll show you guys how I've done that in this video. I'm thinking we'll go with some black leather. Gonna make some cuts, get a rough outline for where this should be, and stitch down over it, and have a little flap on the top that I can use to lock it in with. So the bottom piece of leather, which everything is going to get sewn to, I'm going to go out away from the object about 1/4 inch and make cuts on either side so that I have enough to sew to. Right here, just getting the leather cut into a rectangular shape so it'll be more square and easier to work on as I go through. So now I basically got the majority of my pieces cut out, except for one, which we'll get to later. Going through, and you can use a fork when you're trying to figure out where you're going to put your holes at. Like here for the belt loop. If you use a fork, you can get your spaces there that for your holes you're going to punch to be even. And it'll just go by the distance between your fork prongs. So you can shove that down hard on the leather, like this. And now it's marked. Then you go through with your, where's that? Okay. Your spike, your pick, your drill, whatever you got to use, and puncture a hole on each of the spots that you've marked. Or you can use a drill. Sometimes I do that. I might end up doing that, but for right now, we're just using the spike. So one of those things that we may not have is waxed cord or specific leather cord for sewing up something like this. So I'm gonna see if I can use some pretty strong braided fishing line. I think that ought to work. I know it'll be strong enough. So when you're going to do the stitching, just kind of showing you guys the holes right there because it's kind of hard to tell with this black leather. I got 2 pieces right here for the belt loop. If you can get a couple of clamps, that will make life a whole lot easier. And let's see here, I got my fishing twine and 2 needles. The reason we need 2 is because we're going to do what's called a saddle stitch for this. So you go in one side, come out the other. I've done this for a lot of other leather projects and it just seems to work. Go into the next one, pull that through, take the other side, go through, pull those tight, and repeat. we'll say the fishing line is not the best. Ow, shit, for this. But use what you got. Do a couple of knots and that part's done. Now just gotta repeat that like 50 more times. So I'm getting to a part here where I've got 1, 2 sides of the holster here sewn up. Now before I sew up this side right here, gosh, it's hard to see because it's black. There we go. Before I sew up that last side, which is going to be this to this, I've got the hole getting punched right here, well, drilled anyway, and that's going to be for this guy right here. That's how it's going to close. I'm going to put a lid on the top here, and it will snap together. Now the fun part. Trying to get this seated without slamming your fingers. Then we got something like that. Once it's sewn up, it should sit somewhere like that. But yeah, that's what you end up with. So I got all the holes drilled in this piece, and all the holes drilled in this piece. So I'm gonna sew these two together, and then we'll put the snap on. And it should be ready to go. All right, hammer. I'm gonna give it one more tap. Alright. And there we go. Voila. There we go. Check that out. So when shit hits the fan, I think leatherworking is going to be a very crucial skill. Very crucial indeed. All right. Yeah, I like it. Move it around a little bit. Let's see. Perfect. All right, guys. Well, I hope you enjoyed the video. I did, because I got me a new Leatherman holster. And I carry the thing on me every day, so it's kind of convenient to have something to hold it right there on your head. Yeah, it's comfortable, it's not digging into me. The fishing line, like I said, is really tough, and it should hold up. So if it fails on me here after a couple weeks, I'll make sure and post it on the community tab and let you guys know. But till then, guys, get into some leatherworking, even if it's just something little. Because once you do, you'll kind of like it and you'll want to mess around with it some more. And it's a skill. I mean, when new production stuff isn't being made, leather is an extremely great tool because you can shape it to about anything that you need and make something. You can make rifle slings, you can make gun holsters, knife sheaths. You can put together a little rollout organizer for tools, utensils. Shit, hold on, I almost forgot. I don't know how far back you guys watch my videos. I might go ahead and link this one in the description. But this right here, I made out of a welding apron that I bought from Harbor Freight. Now, is the leather the greatest material ever on this? No, it's extremely cheap leather. But I made this out of a welding apron. And this is a cool, fun little project. But just to let you know that even some cheap material that you can find in like a welding shop, leather apron, what's somebody gonna need that for? Well, you might possibly use it for an arrow quiver. This whole thing. So, lots of different uses. And I am no expert. I am an amateur at this. And I was still able to make some pretty cool stuff. Get some leather and mess around with it. No excuses. Because when there's no new production stuff being made, this might be your only way to make something that you really need. Whether that is an arrow quiver, gun holster, knife sheath, or maybe a Leatherman sheath. Well, that's about it, guys. I'll leave the link in the description for the video on how I made this right here. And you guys check that out and tell me what you think. Alright, have a good day.